We've been talking a lot about growth the last few weeks because growth takes effort, time, commitment, energy. It's a lot. And sometimes we wonder, is it worth it? Is it working? How can I actually tell progress? And so today we're going to continue that theme with this episode. You're growing even if it doesn't feel like it yet. So today we're going to talk about subtle signs of growth because especially when it doesn't feel obvious, it can be tough to stay committed. You've been putting in the work, but you're still doubting if it's paying off. So trust me, this episode is for you. Let's dive in. Do you ever wish you had more time just to breathe, think, or even catch up? Does your to-do list feel like it's never ending, no matter how hard you try? Have you ever looked around and thought, why does everyone else seem to have it all together and I'm barely holding on? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to A Fresh Start. I'm Shannon Marquita, your habit and mindset coach, here to help you build healthier habits, feel more like yourself again, and stop burning out in the name of productivity. Trust me, I've lived the pressure of trying to prove myself, earn my worth, and juggle all the things. I know what it's like to look successful on paper, but still feel completely drained inside. That's why this podcast isn't just about information, it's about transformation. So stop scrolling, stop comparing, and stop trying to buy your way to balance. This is your space to slow down, reset, and focus on the one thing that will truly give you change, you. So let's get into today's episode. Have you ever heard the saying that if you're not growing, you're dying? What this suggests is that if you find yourself in a state of just stagnation, that you become stuck, you actually begin to decline. It can affect your confidence. It can affect your outlook and perspective. It can start to trigger self-doubt and depression, all not good things. Whereas when you are committed to growth, it positively affects every area of your life. It can be business, it can be relationally, it can be personally with self-development, but when you are constantly working on yourself and your growth and progress, it has a ripple effect in every area of your life. And what's really amazing is it also affects others. It's really a powerful choice that you are committing to when you commit to growth. So I want to encourage you, just as I have throughout this series, that although it may not always be as visible and noticeable, growth is something that's essential, and your commitment is having a ripple effect in other people's lives and even generations to come. So trust the process and stay the course. Today, I want to give you 5 main points that reiterate the fact that you're growing even if it doesn't feel like it yet. So these are things that you can look for in your everyday life, in certain situations, and just things that will begin to jump out at you that make it more aware of the growth that is happening in your life. Number 1 is the reminder that growth isn't always loud or visible. It's not always the big milestone. We have a tendency to want to chase the big goal that is so visible and everyone's going to see and celebrate. But growth is often the decision to just simply stay the course when you used to quit. When things would get hard and inconvenient, we would quit. But now when we stay committed and we stay the course and we keep pushing through, because remember, messy is on the brink of a transformation. So now when we realize things are getting tough, it's getting a little uncomfortable, and we begin to lean in and push a little harder and put our head down to focus in this messy middle, we begin to see the fruits of our labor and that we are making it to the other side. It's also us beginning to respond more often with grace when we used to simply express our frustration. Our emotions are very powerful, and we might think, oh, I can't control them, or that's just how I am, or I'm used to apologizing because the first thing that comes out is frustration or anger, and it's great that you have the habit of apologizing. I hope that you have that, because it is good to let people know that you are aware of how you're responding and treating them and you value the relationship, but also the more that we can be slower to respond and react so that we can actually give the response that we want to, which is patience, grace, understanding, forgiveness, love, rather than frustration, anger, anything that's unkind is a huge piece and sign of growth. It's also a matter of taking care of yourself before the burnout hits. For me, this is a huge piece of growth. I am one that often is used to burnout. I am go, 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 and I push through, but I've gotten so much better at recognizing the signs early on that my body needs to slow down, that I just need to take a rest, because rest is productive. You don't have to earn your rest. I think that's a huge misconception that people have is, well, I haven't worked hard enough or I haven't done enough to take a break. No, taking a break, resting and recharging is part of the process. It's part of being successful and healthy and growing, is that you don't have to earn your rest. You are able to rest at any time, and it's a way that you honor yourself and your health and your priorities. Number 2 is the reminder that just because it feels uncomfortable doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. I think that comparison is so dangerous, and we have a tendency to always be looking to our left and to our right, and what are they doing? And it seems so easy, and this isn't comfortable. This doesn't seem like I'm doing it right. What are they doing? But no, growth feels awkward because it's new and it's stretching us and it seems uncertain, but doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. A huge piece of growth is trusting yourself. And in this process, the more that you lean in, you will begin to trust yourself more and more, and you will realize and begin to see that growth, although awkward and new, is something that you want to start to run towards, because you see all the positive effects it's having in your life and how it's stretching you into this new, better, improved version of yourself that you knew was there all along. Amidst this awkwardness often comes emotional discomfort as well. But I just want to remind you, like we talked about in the previous episode, is it's because you're outgrowing old patterns. It's like we talked about with the tug of war. It's your past self and your future self in this tug of war for where you are going to end up. And so just like we talked about in number 1, when you used to quit because it got hard and uncomfortable, and so your past self was pulling you back to what was familiar and easy, growth is when you stay the course, when it gets a little tough and uncomfortable, but you let your future self keep pulling you forward because you know that's what you're working towards and you know that it's worth it. Number 3 is giving yourself credit for new defaults. What this means is think of things that used to derail you, that used to get you off track and would trip you up, but they no longer do. Your new defaults aren't to quit, aren't to go back to what's familiar and easy and comfortable. Your new defaults are, I know this feels messy. I know I feel a little unsure right now because this is new, but I trust myself. I know what my values are and what I'm working towards. And so I lean in and I keep pushing through. And my default is to trust myself and to stay the course and to not be afraid of future growth. It's also realizing that what feels normal now used to be a big effort. So before, we had to work really hard because we weren't sure exactly what we should do or how to form these new habits or how to overcome the hurdle of leaving our past self behind and trusting ourselves. But now that's normal. Now when things feel uncomfortable or messy, we just pause because we know this is fine. It might feel new. It might feel like we're having to stretch ourselves, but I know what I'm working towards. I trust myself. I know the values and the things that I've been working on are going to work, and that growth is a process, and I trust my own timeline, and it's not about comparison. And so what used to be doubt and uncertainty and would derail me and pull me backwards, now we just pause. We have the positive self-talk that we've worked on, replacing our past narratives with, and we just keep pushing forward because we know what we're working towards and we know that this process works. Number 4 is tracking your invisible progress. And what does this mean? This means, are you having more self-awareness day to day, whether in situations that are hard and difficult whether in situations where you need to rise up as a leader and your response matters. So you're slower to respond and speak. You listen more intently. You are thinking about what you say before it comes out. Self-awareness is leaning into your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, the effect that it has on those around you. That is a huge thing to track in your day-to-day situations. And that is invisible progress because it's self-awareness and it's hard to track tangibly, but you are noticing that your EQ, your emotional intelligence, is rising. And that is a huge sign of growth. Another question to ask yourself is, are you honoring your boundaries more often? Are you letting people say yes for you when you know you should be saying no? Are you allowing other people to press into your time that you've blocked for what your priorities are, like your family, your rest, even your own work time, because it's more convenient for them? Or are you holding your boundaries saying, I realize that that's something that is important and I will get it done, but it's going to have to happen during this time block instead of now? Are you pushing back a little bit when people are being disappointed when you say no, whether to attending an event or doing anything that might interfere with your personal priorities? And that's a way of honoring your boundaries, even if it's inconvenient or not liked by others. And that is another sign of invisible progress. Are you resting without guilt more often than before? Just like we talked about, rest is not something that you have to earn. It's part of your progress of realizing that it needs to be part of your plan. It affects your health physically, mentally, emotionally. And so you need to schedule it in just like you do work time, just like you do family time, friend time. Rest time is part of your recharge. And so you need to always make sure that it is a part of your schedule and not feel guilty about it. Finally, number 5 is, I know you're a high achiever. You are committed to growth and seeing your life flourish, and you are amazing for that. But as a high achiever, it's very common for you to miss your growth. And so I want you to ask yourself, you used to be chasing measurable results, but now a sign of growth that I want you to stay aware of is that internal shifts matter too. And I want you to start to chase those more so, because the internal shifts of our responses, of our emotions, of our attitude, those are high measurables that affect our results. And the more that we can be controlling ourselves and feel the power of having those results and feeling in control of those pieces, the more that our other results will begin to skyrocket, because the more that we are in control of ourselves, the more that we will see the results come in our day-to-day lives that are measurable, whether it be at work or with our relationships or whatever it may be, because the internal overflows and affects the external. And the last piece of this is the reminder that your old definition of success may need to be updated. What does this mean? Success initially to a lot of people is in regards to tangibles, X amount of money or notoriety or fame, but it's often things. But what success really is that you may need to update your definition to reflect is your relationships and your EQ and your commitment to growth and how your personal results affect others. Because the more that we are positively growing ourselves and serving others, the more our success truly will thrive. Just like Zig Ziglar says, is you can have everything you want in life if you help enough people get what they want too. Success is about serving yourself as far as growth in healthy ways, emotionally, physically, mentally, but also serving others and modeling what it looks like to take care of yourself and to take care of others. It's not things. Things are fleeting. They will constantly be coming and going. You will have times of a lot and you will have times of a little. But success, true success that lasts, is something that can't be taken from you. It's how you show up for yourself. It's how you invest in yourself, how you value yourself, as well as others. And so I want you to always remember and take the time to update your personal definition of what success is, because that affects how you show up daily and what you're working towards. Because otherwise, you're going to honestly feel like you're constantly on a hamster wheel, chasing something that is always out of reach. There are enough people that are extremely wealthy who have said, I thought once I got X amount of money or this prize and this notoriety that I will have felt great and made it. But I still feel empty because I was chasing the wrong things. And I don't want that for you. So all of this growth matters because I want you to keep the perspective of what's truly valuable that you're working towards. And that is a healthy relationship with yourself and others and serving one another so that you can see the ripple effect of your efforts in every area of your life. And that honestly also leaves a legacy far beyond anything we can imagine. Which is why we have to remember through all of this that yes, growth is tough. It's hard. It doesn't always feel like momentum. Honestly, a lot of times it feels like maintenance. But maintenance is movement, and you are doing better than you think. I want to give you 3 journal prompts as we wrap up today's episode and just to have with you to reflect on this week. And the first one is, what areas of your life have you quietly improved over the last few months? What used to trigger you that no longer does? What part of your progress have you been downplaying? I know for me, if you follow me on social media, there was a time where I unintentionally did the 6-month challenge. And that's where you kind of just disappear for 6 months offline. I didn't mean to. I took a break, which is normal for me, but then a break turned into a 6-month break. And I just invested in myself. It was a lot of things just for me. My health, my sanity, my relationships, just getting quiet and focused in real life. And I loved it. And I came back online more refreshed and able to serve with good perspective. And so I just want you to ask yourself, what areas of your life have you quietly improved over the last few months? It's okay to do it quietly. It doesn't have to be loud for everyone to watch with lots of pictures and posts and the comments and the likes and the shares and all the things. This is your life. What are you doing to improve it? And it's okay if it's quiet. What used to trigger you that no longer does? For me, there's a lot of examples. I am slower to respond because I'm working on seeing things from other perspectives better. I'm learning to ask better questions. It's easy when we have hurt past, because hurt people, that we don't always have the healthiest assumption when people say or do certain things. But when we heal and we're on this growth journey, we're slower to respond because we realize people are coming from all sorts of places. Don't assume the worst. You don't know what people are going through in their own lives. So what used to trigger you that no longer does? And then what progress have you been downplaying? For me, it's really common that people will give me a compliment and I'll be like, oh no, and I'll all of a sudden turn it around to them and give them a compliment. And I don't know when this first started, but that's something I've really been working on, is saying thank you. I work really hard for my growth and for serving others and the things that I create and how I show up. And so I need to say thank you because people's compliments are really genuine. And I'm not looking to make anyone feel uncomfortable by being a little strange in saying thank you. And so I just am trying to get better at that. Saying simply thank you when someone gives me a compliment. I can compliment them as well, but I can also just pause and receive it for how they mean it. And so what is something that you have been downplaying progress-wise that you know you've been working really hard at? And then when someone acknowledges it, just pause and smile and realize, yeah, you know what? I have been working really hard. Thanks for noticing. I really appreciate it. So I just want to encourage you to keep going. Remember, you're not behind. You are getting stronger every day with every choice and commitment on this journey. And the times that you do need to pause, that's okay. Do what you need for your health. But remember, don't quit. So then when you start again, you're doing it wiser and stronger because you never gave up. You rested when you needed it. You took the break that was necessary for that period in your life, but keep going. You're doing a great job. Talk to you soon. I'm so glad you're here today. This conversation matters, and I know it's going to make a difference in how you move forward. If you'll do me a favor and take a minute to share this episode with a friend and leave a review, your words help others find their way too. For more resources, next steps, and to work together, you can head to my website, shannonmarquita.com. That's MARQUETA. Everything you need is waiting for you there. And if you're looking for honest conversation and extra encouragement with people doing the same kind of work, come join my free Facebook community. The link is in the show notes. Until next time, trust your pace, protect your peace, and remember, you are not behind. Take what you need from these episodes and know that a fresh start is always possible for you. I'm so proud of you. I'm thankful for you, and I look forward to talking with you again soon.